Today I'm going to be answering the most common questions that homeowners ask us about ceiling fans. Number one, what size ceiling fan do I need? Number two, what's the difference between an AC ceiling fan and a DC ceiling fan? And number three, why isn't my fan moving any air, or why is the airflow so poor? Let's start with the first one. What size ceiling fan should I go with? You'll usually see ceiling fans advertised by their blade size. So when someone says a 52-inch fan, they're talking about the overall diameter from the end of one blade to the end of the other blade. And for most bedrooms, a 52-inch is what we'd recommend. It's the perfect balance between physical size and airflow. And also a 52-inch fan is great for living areas as well. Once you move to more open plan areas, a 56-inch fan could be a better choice. It also depends on the distance of the blades from your existing lighting. A lot of people assume that just bigger is better when it comes to ceiling fans, and this is not always the case. You have to get that good balance between physical size and airflow. The last thing you want to do is put in a ceiling fan that's too big and you end up getting strobing from your existing lighting. You also don't want to put in a fan that's too small and will look strange in the space and also not move enough air. If you put a massive fan into a smaller area, it'll look way out of proportion and it can create a lot of strobing from your existing lights, which will throw shadows up onto your walls. It'll make the room very difficult to be in and you won't want to run your fan at all. So when it comes to choosing a fan for the space and choosing the right size, you need to work out the exact layout of the room, whether you're going to be putting in one fan or multiple fans, and then decide what size is best for you. A standard rule of thumb is for most bedrooms, a 52-inch will work, and for most living rooms, a 52-inch will be the choice as well. But once you go into more open plan, larger areas, you'll often put more than one fan in, or you'll go to a larger 56-inch fan. The next question is, what's the difference between an AC fan and a DC fan? The main difference is the type of motor that is going to be running the fan. AC ceiling fans have been around for years. They're generally really simple, they're reliable, but they're also limiting in the number of speeds that they have and the airflow they can produce. Often you'll also have a bit of a hum or a motor noise coming from these fans. DC ceiling fans have a different motor design. And for most homeowners today, buying a DC fan has some really nice advantages. Firstly, there's no motor noise and they run super efficiently. The quieter operation of these ceiling fans is a big deal, especially when you're installing them in a bedroom. Nothing's more annoying than when you're laying there in bed and all you can hear is the fan humming or ticking. A good quality DC ceiling fan should be whisper quiet and move a lot of air. Another advantage of a DC ceiling fan is they're actually more energy efficient. They'll use less power while having better airflow. Now, another advantage of a DC ceiling fan is the options of speed control. A DC fan will generally have a lot more speeds you can choose from than your traditional AC fan. They'll normally come with a 6-speed remote, which is super simple to use, and you can also change the direction of the fan in winter and in summer. With the remote control, you can set the fan to the exact amount of airflow that you're looking for, and it's a lot more adjustable than your 3-speed wall controller that you find on an AC fan. So when would you choose an AC fan over a DC fan? Sometimes for simplicity in rentals, or if you have a rental that you don't want people losing the remote, or if you're just looking for a really budget option, you can still get good quality AC ceiling fans that will last a long time and that will be super reliable. But if you want a more quiet operation and a more premium ceiling fan, I wouldn't be looking anywhere else other than DC fans. The third question, why is my ceiling fan not moving enough air? This would have to be one of the most frustrating problems, and people have it even when they've put brand new fans in. They've got the issue of just not getting enough airflow in that space. This usually comes down to the incorrect size of fan being put in, or someone's put in a really low quality fan that hasn't been designed properly with the correct pitch on the blades, or doesn't run at the speeds required to move the air. So if you've got one of these fans and you've got it set to full speed and it's running quickly but it's just not moving the air, the chances are it's the incorrect blade size that's been chosen for that room. Another thing could be the actual fan itself. Not every 52-inch ceiling fan moves the same amount of air. Two fans can have the exact same blade size but different quality motors and different speed settings, and this can drastically affect the amount of air that they move. Usually better quality ceiling fans have had a lot more design go into them to get the maximum airflow out of the size and the motor. Also, if it's been installed on a really high ceiling without a dropper rod, it's not going to move enough air down to the point where you can feel it. If you ever need a fan mounted to a high ceiling, it's highly recommended that you do put a dropper rod on that fan to bring it back down to a more suitable height. Otherwise, you'll be stuck going a huge fan that may look way too big for that space just to get any airflow down at your floor height. Other parts that can also fail is the fan capacitor on older AC fans. It's a little capacitor that sits behind the wall, and when you turn the speeds, your fan just stays at the same slow speed, or it only works on high and not the other two settings. This can sometimes be fixed just by replacing the capacitor in the wall, But if your fan is older than 5 to 7 years, it's often more cost effective to replace it with a new unit and get a new warranty. So what ceiling fan should you choose? If I was choosing a ceiling fan for my own place, I'd definitely be going with a DC ceiling fan. If I was putting a fan in the bedroom that required a light attachment, I'd get one that had a removable light. This way, if the light fails in 5, 10, 15 years, I can replace that without having to replace the whole fan. I'd also be choosing a reputable brand that I know is going to be around by the time the warranty period ends. There's nothing worse than if you put a ceiling fan in and then you can't get warranty if something goes wrong. And when choosing a ceiling fan, I'd also be looking at the airflow figures and not just the blade size. As mentioned before, not all 52-inch ceiling fans move the same amount of air. And lastly, it's often best to get your electrician to supply the ceiling fan and install it. That way they can handle the labor for the install and also the warranty for the fan. So when you're choosing a ceiling fan for your space, make sure you consider those things. If you're in Brisbane or Bayside and you're looking for a reputable electrician, or you just want some advice around ceiling fans, reach out to us and we can definitely get you sorted.